After 292 days, North Georgia women's soccer is back to kick off their 26th season against a familiar opponent from the Conference Carolinas. It's the home opener, the season opener for the 24th ranked team in the country, North Georgia Nighthawks, taking on the Braves from UNC Pembroke. We are so glad to be back with all of you alongside the rest of the Nighthawk Sportsmen, Nighthawk Sports Network team, and my co-host Will Bentley. Robert DiClemente on hand for you this afternoon. 14 wins, a Peach Belt Conference regular season championship, a PBC tournament championship appearance, and an NCAA tournament appearance. Those are just a few of the accolades the Nighthawks achieved in 2023 in what was one of their best seasons in program history. But they have their sights set on even more success this season, with 6 all-conference players returning from last year's team, including their All-American goalkeeper, Sierra Fowler. Will, this North Georgia squad brings a lot of talent and a lot of momentum heading into this year.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for this season for the women's soccer program. They've got some great new players, and I think they've got every chance of doing just as well as they did last year, and even going further.
Absolutely. There's a lot to be excited about if you're a fan of North Georgia soccer. The groundwork is set for another great season as they kick it off against an opponent that's almost been a bit of a tradition for them to kick off the season against UNC Pembroke, another one of the top programs in the Southeast region. Coming off another great season, Conference Carolina tournament champions for the 3rd consecutive season in a row. Braves bring a lot of familiar faces back this season as well, just like the Nighthawks. 6 starters and 3 letter winners returning from last year's squad as we are underway here in the 2024 campaign. Nighthawks are going to start with the ball here in this one. Keeping things at midfield as we have a whistle and a foul going against UNC Pembroke. Let's take a look at the starters for the Braves today. In goal for UNC Pembroke is going to be number 1, Anna Bass. And then on the field for the Braves is number 3, Frade Lodge Whitman, Reagan Carr, Maria Cancillo, Anna Grossheim, Ellie Soderberg, Mercy Bell, Eugenie Amidou, Sarah Bonifant, Shakira Kafiro Roberts, and Keypatra Morgan is going to round out that starting lineup for the Braves this afternoon. And for North Georgia, a lot of familiar faces back on the field, but some new faces in the starting lineup as well. Nighthawks with possession here, as we just mentioned. Few new faces in this starting lineup, but lots of returners as well. Big returner for North Georgia is that anchor in goal for them, Sierra Fowler, All-American last season. And then on the field for North Georgia, Alex Clark, Adelaide Wheeler, Treadwell, Cottle, Odinger, Lopez, Olive, Watry, Fruits, and Aronoff. So a couple new faces like we mentioned, Lopez, Odinger, and Cottle. Those new faces in the lineup here for North Georgia this season.
Yeah, this is a great chance for them to show themselves what they've got. First game of the season. They'll be wanting to prove themselves.
This one goes to Aronoff, trying to work around a few defenders. Nighthawks are pushed back here, as Watry tries to make her way past midfield. She's tripped up from behind. Whistle and a foul is going to go against UNC Pembroke. Nighthawks trying to make their first push of the game here as they get this one over to Olive. As this ball rolls out of play, and it's going to be UNC Pembroke's ball.
It's a good idea from Olive. Just slightly overhit, but I like the idea there. Decent start from UNG.
As we mentioned in that opener, UNG had one of their best seasons in program history last season, finishing 14-4-4, their most wins since 2019, while capturing the program's first Peach Belt Conference regular season title, made it all the way to the tournament championship and the second round of the NCAA tournament before falling to the 9th-ranked team in the nation, Catawba, 1-2 in that second round matchup. Actually, both of these teams, North Georgia and UNC Pembroke, ended their 2023 campaigns against Catawba in the NCAA tournament. Carr will throw it in, trying to find Soderberg. Here is Alex Clark with the ball, gets it taken away, and a great defensive play there by North Georgia as Treadwell was on top of that one. Nighthawks trying to push the pace here. Try to get a through ball into Odinger as she crosses this one in, keeps it on the ground, and that's going to be cleared by UNC Pembroke, and it's going to be a throw in here for the Nighthawks. Watry, captain on this North Georgia squad, is going to throw it in.
Yeah, that's great play from UNG. Really good from Lopez, stepping in with the ball outside of the foot pass, through to the striker who's done well to get across him.
Some action going on in the box. We're going to have a whistle and a foul against North Georgia. And so Bass is going to have a goal kick here for the Braves. Braves coming off a stellar season themselves, finishing 12-4-3, reaching the NCAA tournament for the 7th time in program history. Automatic bid for them into the NCAA tournament came off the back of the program's 3rd consecutive Conference Carolinas tournament championship. Rejoined the CC back in 2021. They've won the conference tournament championship and have really separated themselves from the pack as one of the most dominant programs over there in the Conference Carolinas over the last few seasons. Fruits gives it off to Aronoff. Back to Lopez, but she has it taken away. Aronoff, one of the returners on this North Georgia squad. Here is Wheeler with the ball, a PBC 2024 preseason selection. Projected to be one of the best players in the Peach Belt Conference this season. Earned the honors along with Kat Watry and Sierra Fowler. Nighthawks throw it in near that far right corner. Watry with the pressure on her as that ball slowly rolls out of play over there in that far right corner. It's going to be another goal kick here for Bass. These two teams, a rich history. At one point, both members of the Peach Belt Conference, as Pembroke may be onto something here. Aronoff is applying the pressure. Bodies hit the turf. And a great defensive play there by Aronoff to cut off that through ball, and this is going to be a goal kick here for Sierra Fowler. As we were mentioning, both teams used to be members of the Peach Belt Conference. Pembroke has since left since 2021, winning those 3 consecutive Conference Carolinas tournament championships. And a great matchup we have between two of the best teams in the Southeast to kick off this 2024 campaign, as this ball is going to roll out of play for a Nighthawk throw-in, trying to work quickly here.
Yeah, it's a strong start from UNG. You can see they're probably so far the stronger side out of the two. Trying lots of little different plays. I think they need to keep getting Lopez and Wheeler on the ball in the middle. So far, so good.
Yeah, North Georgia's definitely been applying the most pressure out of these two teams here in these first 8 minutes of action. Pembroke trying to respond, and North Georgia's back line clears it. North Georgia's back line's been one of the best in the Peach Belt Conference pretty consistently since head coach Kaylee Ralton has been here with the Nighthawks. They lost one of their anchors this season, Bailey Vessel, the reigning Peach Belt Conference Defender of the Year, graduated after last season, but they've still got a lot of exciting players on this back line here for North Georgia, with lots of returners and Fruits and Aronoff. Watry, as we mentioned, she may be in contention for Defender of the Year. This ball ricochets off of a Brave. Nighthawks quickly throw it in over there in front of UNC Pembroke's bench. Pembroke, of course, like we mentioned, coming off that third consecutive conference championship, come into the season ranked number 1 in the Conference Carolinas. North Georgia ranked number 2, just behind Columbus State. Nighthawks still applying the pressure, and Pembroke's defense makes a stop here, but this is going to result in the first corner kick of the game for North Georgia.
Oettinger does really well down that right-hand side. Really good touch, past the defender, and then manages to win a corner for the team.
It'll be Watry to send in the corner over there on the far right side. Sends it in, and Pembroke clears it there as Lopez tries to track it back down. Gives it back to Aronoff, has a little bit of room to operate. Cottle tried to find Oettinger there on the play, as this one just rolls out of bounds for another Nighthawk throw-in. Nighthawks without some notable faces this season. Maysoon El-Shami, 4-time PBC All-Conference and All-Region member, the all-time leader in PKs made for the Nighthawks. Katie Durkay, a 3-time PBC All-Conference member, one of the clutchest players in UNG history, 9 game-winning goals for her. And, of course, as we mentioned, no Bailey Vessel for the Nighthawks this season either, 3-time PBC All-Conference member. And as we mentioned, that reigning PBC Defender of the Year.
I think great ball.
Something could happen here for North Georgia. That's going to be collected by Bass, though, and well, that's probably been the best opportunity North Georgia's had so far in this game to try to find the back of the net.
Yeah, so Wheeler's opened out onto her right foot and found a great pass in between the left centre back and the left back. Oettinger running in from the right, just can't quite get the touch right. If she does, though, she's in for a goal there.
This will be a Braves throw-in near midfield as Morgan gets it in.
I think, like you were saying before, lots of sort of UNG legends have left, but I think that opens up the door for opportunity for new players to sort of stamp their name on the place, make a name for themselves and do similar things to Bailey, Maysoon, and Katie.
Absolutely, and still a lot of veterans coming back this year for North Georgia. Lots of juniors and seniors, upperclassmen returning on this team. Fowler and Watry, 2 big names that come back to the Nighthawk squad this season to tighten up the back line. And, of course, Fowler's been consistently not just one of the best goalkeepers in the Peach Belt Conference, but she's up there with some of the best goalkeepers in all of Division II women's soccer.
Definitely, yeah. You even watch her warming up, and she doesn't take things easy. She's always giving it 100%. And yeah, some of the saves she makes are ridiculous.
Here is Cottle. It's cut off by Bonifant. Something the Nighthawks are going to have to look out for in this matchup. UNC Pembroke very aggressive when it comes to getting their shots off. A top 3 team in the country in shots per game last season. As Olive tries to cross it in, and ball stays in the air, gets back to Aronoff. Still has the pressure on, ends up in Watry's possession. Now to Ball swinging around, and that's going to be headed away by Bell. Olive with two defenders on her. Loses control of the ball, and another goal kick here for Bass. Like we mentioned, this team top 3 in the country in shots per game last year. These shots are going against these opposing goalkeepers. Really going to test them. Second-ranked team in the country in shots on goal per game, averaging almost 10 per contest for UNC Pembroke. We've said before, Fowler, she has some of the quickest instincts in Division II soccer, and she may be tested today here by these Braves midfielders and attackers.
The first 15 minutes, though. I don't think they've had a shot yet, which is good.
As Aronoff gives it up to Lopez. Ends back up in North Georgia's possession. Olive is on the run. Gets it to Cottle, who is tripped up. No whistle there, and this ball is going to go back to Sierra Fowler. Ball bouncing around, ends up in the possession of Michael Fruits. Fruits, a PBC All-Conference second-team selection last year. Broke out, recording a couple goals for the Nighthawks and an assist for the first time in her career. Started 14 of 18 games last season for North Georgia. Nighthawks again on the run, trying to apply the pressure here to the Braves. Keep it on the ground, and the shot by Clark is going to soar over the post, and that's going to be another goal kick here for Bass.
Yeah, that's really good play from UNG. They built up from the back. You can tell there's a clear structure in the way they play. They're not happy just to kick it long. They want to keep the ball. They've worked their way out really well. They've done really well down the right. Get the cross in, and Alex unlucky with the finish.
And this North Georgia back line's also done a really good job of containing UNC Pembroke. Hasn't been able to get a shot off yet against Sierra Fowler here in these first 15 minutes. Here is Clark. Tried to find Watry. Looks like she may have not had her eye totally on the ball. Gets back to Wheeler.
I think Oettinger's having a lot of joy down that right-hand side. I think that's why they need to keep feeding the ball. Let her get at the left back, get crosses in, flood the box, try and get a finish off.
So that whistle is going to result in a throw-in here for North Georgia. Ball gets back to Sierra Fowler, and the accolades for Fowler just keep on adding up. Like we mentioned, a PBC preseason all-conference selection, United Soccer Coaches All-American first team selection last year, All-Region first team, PBC All-Conference first team, was the goalkeeper of the week in the PBC, back-to-back in the 2023 season. She had 11 shutouts last year, first in the PBC and 9th nationally. Goals come far and few between against Sierra Fowler. Like we mentioned, one of the best goalkeepers in all of Division II women's soccer. And it was a pretty deep Peach Belt Conference last season when it came to their goalkeepers. Fowler, a veteran in the conference, and I definitely think she's in contention for a PBC Goalkeeper of the Year award this season.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think last season, building the name up helps a lot. I think if she has a season anything like last season, she's in for a great chance. And if she can perform like she did last year, then I think that sets up a great foundation for the rest of the team, to go forward and try and accomplish similar achievements.
Braves throw it in. This one is going to land in the hands of assistant coach for the Nighthawks, J.P. Merlette.
See again, UNG just playing out from the back, not happy to just go long. I mean, they're giving it away there, but when it does work, they break through that, the opposition's midfield with ease. Good battling from Cottle.
Nighthawks with possession here as the Braves are starting to apply the pressure. Ball again rolls out of play, and it's going to be the Braves' ball. As the Braves throw in here.
Great feet there.
Again, a nice play there by North Georgia's back line. One of the best that you'll see around the Peach Belt Conference. Like we said, a lot of veterans returning here on this back line, and there's going to be some new faces when it comes to scoring the goals this year for North Georgia, as El Shami, who we mentioned before, and Katie Durkay and Ariel Arnoff, sister of Alexa Arnoff, made up for 18 goals the Nighthawks scored last season, 18 of the 55. So the scoring's going to have to come from maybe some of the younger players on this Nighthawk roster, but this is also a team like UNC Pembroke that likes to get the shots off. Speaking of shots off, that one from Cottle, that header, almost got past Bass, but great hands as she collects that one.
Yeah, it's a great ball in, but Cottle does really well to beat the centre back to the ball, win the header, and yeah, it's a good header as well, directed towards goal. It's just couldn't find the corners, straight down the middle into the keeper's hands, but it's good signs from UNG so far.
Wheeler gives it up to Watry. Wheeler, another one of those players, like we mentioned, PBC preseason all-conference member. Made the all-region second team last year. PBC all-conference second team. Had 4 goals. That was tied for third on the team in 2023. 5 assists, and she was a consistent starter last year. 21 of 22 games Wheeler started last year for North Georgia. Can expect that number to even go up this year.
Aronoff's having a really good game on that left side. Winning the ball back a lot and retaining possession when she does win it. Keeping things ticking.
Braves cut off that pass to Cottle as they retain possession. Braves made a couple of stops on defense here, but have still just been unable to get anything past North Georgia's back line here in this one. And then if they do, they have a meeting with Sierra Fowler over there in goal as this one rolls out of play for another Braves throw-in.
Yeah, UNCP will be hoping to find their way through this UNG defence. They're just struggling, keeping the ball in that middle area and then finding that correct pass into the forwards. They've struggled with that extra pass so far. Whereas UNG keeping the ball a little bit better, creating chances. They just need to start taking them.
Watry throws it in. Ball stays close to the sideline and goes out of play for another Watry throw-in. Tries to get it into Odinger. Watry has some room to operate, and she's tripped up, and a whistle and a foul, I believe, is going to go against Wheeler.
Not quite sure what the foul was. I mean, Watry got a body across well. I wouldn't say she was fouled, but looked like the referee already had his whistle in his mouth to give the free kick. So maybe it was Wheeler.
These are 2 veteran squads. Nighthawks have boatloads of talent returning this season. 6 PBC all-conference members, 3 all-region players. Like we mentioned, the All-American in goal, Sierra Fowler. 5 seniors, 6 juniors back on this Nighthawk squad.
You can see the difference between the 2 teams there. UNCP going long from the goal kick and giving it away, whereas you've seen UNG trying to play out from the back. And again, they're attacking down this right-hand side. It's been an area of joy so far.
Clark keeps it on the ground. And Olive may have had a chance on it there. Instead, the Braves are going to take over in transition here. Braves trying to make something happen in the box, and that's going to be cleared by Olive. Olive is one of those hustle players out there making a ton of plays. A great through ball here. Nighthawks with an opportunity. It's Cottle, who's tripped up in the box. No foul called, and a great defensive play. Great effort there by Carr to get back onto the play.
Yeah, it was a great ball through from Wheeler. It started from that counter-attack from UNCP. I think Aronoff won it on the edge of the box, played it to Wheeler, who put in a great ball to Cottle, who just couldn't quite get it under control for the finish. But again, more chances for UNG. This is right-hand side again.
Here is Clark, who keeps it on the ground for Watry. Watry also keeps it on the ground, right to the feet of Carr. We mentioned just made that great defensive play. Ball rolls out of play behind UNCP's bench for a Braves throw-in. Head coach for the Braves, Lars Anderson, absolutely made his mark with UNCP. Only coach for the women's soccer program over there at UNCP. Been there since 2001. Olive, another captain on this team, a veteran in her 4th season with North Georgia, keeps it on the ground, and that ball is cleared, ends up in the possession of Roberts, but
Aronoff again winning the ball back. She's having a really good game at left back.
Absolutely. She's been very involved here in this game for North Georgia. Can expect to see a lot of her this season. Kind of had a breakout year last year. The shot is going to be saved by Bass. Lopez had a good look on it, and that one goes just off the fingertips of Bass, and this is going to lead to another Nighthawks corner, this time on the opposite side over there on the left.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen a UNG player get the head up, shoot from range. And yeah, they tested the goalkeeper there, won a corner.
And so
what they can do with it.
It's going to be Aronoff over there on the left side of your screen to take the corner. Just a second of the game overall. North Georgia's second. Pembroke yet to have a corner in this one. As Aronoff sends it in, and ball's still alive in the box for North Georgia. And it looks like this is going to end in the Braves' possession here.
Yeah, I think it's just struck Ocean during the arm there. Not much you could do about it.
Got an early start to today's game, a 1 p.m. start time on this Thursday afternoon. A bit cloudy outside. A little bit breezy as well. It's definitely cooled down since the start of the 2024 school year here in Dahlonega. Nice through ball there to Odinger, and again, the Braves take it away. As head coach for the Braves, Lars Anderson there. See him coaching his team up on the sideline. Tried to make the play there with the ball rolling out of bounds. Looks like North Georgia's going to make a couple substitutions here. It's going to be Chloe Diaz and Kimora Hall stepping on for North Georgia. They are making their way back to the sideline here.
What's happened there? The referee's cancelled the subs, but not sure what the benefit of that is.
And so North Georgia subs will stay on the sideline for not much longer, as they are now coming into the game for the Nighthawks. As we mentioned, Chloe Diaz and Kimura Hall stepping on for North Georgia.
I don't know what that rule is to stop them from coming on there.
Diaz saw the pitch in 10 games last season, played over 200 minutes, had an assist. Kimura Hall, a new face on this North Georgia squad, a freshman out of Frisco, Texas. One of 3 freshmen actually on this North Georgia squad from Texas, Campbell Young and Emma Moreau, the other 2. He was a second-team All-District member in Frisco last season, played with FC Dallas in their elite club, National League, Recreational League on the club circuit. He was a 3-time national champion with that team. Yeah, nice ball movement there between Aronoff and Olive. Olive sends it in, and it's going to be collected by Bass, and will definitely in these last about 10 minutes of action or so, North Georgia's been applying the pressure to Bass.
Yeah, definitely. They're just keeping the ball so much better than UNCP. And from that, they're creating chances. It was a difficult one for Diaz. It was slightly behind her, so it was a difficult header. But again, yeah, just the more chances they create, the more likely they are to score. So they're moving in the right direction for sure.
Fruits gives it off to Hall. Back to Treadwell, who has some room to operate. Trying to find Wheeler, and she gives it off to Watry. And again, the Braves are there to cut Watry off as they try to respond, but not before Treadwell steps in, and ball stays in play. And here come the Braves. Whittam tries to track it down, and Fowler, I believe for the first time this game, sees some action over there in goal, collects the ball easily, and it's going to be a goal kick for her.
I think if UNCP are to create chances, I think it is from these transitions where UNG lose the ball high, turn it over the top quickly, and try and attack UNG whilst they're short in numbers at the back.
Treadwell with the ball, gives it off to Watry in front of North Georgia's bench. Got a great crowd on hand for this afternoon matchup and the season opener here at the UNG soccer field. Nice job by the Nighthawks to take that one away. Double team over there in the corner. Got some members of the UNG men's soccer team in attendance. Olive has got some room to operate, keeps it on the ground. Goes back to Hall with room to work. Wheeler takes the shot, and that one soars left. Bass could have let that one roll out of play, but instead, she's just going to collect it here.
More good football from UNG. They look really comfortable playing them sort of 1-2s in tight spaces, keeping the ball. And again, yeah, creating another chance. Hall looks really comfortable with her back to goal. UNCP, good defending again from Watry. She's having a good game as well. That whole UNG defence been really solid at the back so far.
No doubt about it. Watry specifically is one of the friskier North Georgia players that you will see. She is making defensive plays all over the field for North Georgia. If you are a long-time fan of North Georgia women's soccer, Kat Watry is definitely a familiar name to you. She is a, like we mentioned, preseason all-conference selection, all-region first team last year, all-conference first team, a hard-nosed defender all 5 years she's been here, willing to play through some injuries as well. We've seen her a little bit banged up throughout the years, but she is as tough as it comes.
Just looking at the stat sheet here, and Mercy Bell, 19 goals in 19 games last season. It's an unreal record, but so far UNG have really kept her quiet. Haven't really seen much of her at all.
Yeah, Nighthawks have done a great job of containing Bell. She is about as good of a player as it comes. Mercy Bell, 2023 Conference Carolinas Offensive Player of the Year, All-Region, All-American. Like Will just mentioned, 19 goals last season, tied a single-season record for UNCP. It was third in all of Division II. It was also top 5 in the nation in goals scored last year. And this shot by the Braves is Soren right. Fowler not having to do too much there on that shot from the Braves.
There we go. Just I mentioned it. Bell with the first chance of the game. Probably doesn't catch it the way she wants to. But there's the warning signs are there.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Bell is starting to find a little bit of a rhythm. You know, in these first games of the season, you know, there may be a little bit of rust, you know, haven't played a game in a while, and for North Georgia's case, almost 300 days that they have played an official game. Of course, have had scrimmages in the fall and in the spring as well, but this is the first time that they are seeing official action here on the UNG soccer field, and so you could see a little bit of rust, you know, a little bit of first game jitters out here from both squads. You know, Nighthawks has done a good job of containing Bell up to this point, but Will, like you said, it's only a matter of time before she starts to find a rhythm.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that's the nature of college soccer. You spend, you know, the season's so short, but once you're in it, you've got to be ready. And yeah, you might be rusty in the first game, but you know, I guarantee you, it doesn't take long for these players, especially the top players, find their rhythm and start performing how they did last season.
Nighthawks make another substitution as number 6, Ashley Summerall, steps on for North Georgia.
Brilliant play from Wheeler there.
Olive crosses it in, and the ball's still in the air. Lots of action going on in the box, and it ends up being cleared by UNCP, but North Georgia's going to have another good opportunity here with their third corner of the game. That's going to be a throw-in, excuse me. Olive gives it back to Aronoff. She tries to cross it in. The header stays in the air, and the Braves are on top of that one. Nighthawks trying to make another push here. Wheeler with some space. Leaves it for Sumrell, and that one's going to be poked out of play by UNCP.
Yeah, good spell for UNG. You can see how the game changes when Wheeler steps in with the ball. The crosses have been strong as well. It's not like it's been easy defensively for UNCP. It's been good defending from them.
Aronoff with pressure on her. Roberts tried to track it down, ends up in the possession of Wheeler at midfield. Under 10 minutes to go here in this first half. Nighthawks keep it on the ground. Space to work here for Sumrell, but sends it out of play, and it's going to be another throw-in for Bass. Ashley Sumrell did not play during the 2023 season, making her Nighthawk debut this afternoon. Like we mentioned, we're going to see a couple new faces on this Nighthawk squad this year, seeing some action on the field. Sumrell being one of them, and
yeah, I think she might have been injured last season, but yeah, I think by the sounds of it, she had a really strong spring, and then she's earned a place in the team today.
Will, how was your first experience in your first game here playing at the UNG soccer field as a part of the men's soccer team?
Oh, it was really positive. You know, obviously there was some nerves there, but when you step on that field, you sort of forget about everything, and you're in the zone.
Nice through ball here to Roberts. Pressure is on from Aronoff, and this one is going in the back of the net for UNCP as Roberts gets it to go, and the first goal of this game belongs to the Braves. Aronoff had the pressure on, but Roberts was able to maneuver her way past her, and a rare goal going by Sierra Fowler as North Georgia finds himself now in a 1-0 hole against UNCP.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. It's against the run of play for sure. It's been all UNG this first 40 minutes. However, like I said, it's going to be in that transition when they lose the ball. UNCP turning it over behind the defence quickly, and yeah, they're caught out of position a little bit there. Aronoff tried to recover, but just couldn't get back in time. Good play from number 18, Bigford, who does really well with the finish as well, right in the bottom corner. Not much Fowler could do really. Now it's a test for UNG to fight back.
So the Nighthawks are going to try to respond here after that goal from Roberts.
UNC Pembroke goal by number 18, Shakira Cafaro Roberts. The new score here at the UNG soccer field at Lynn Cottrell Park is UNC Pembroke 1, North Georgia 0.
So the Nighthawks now with work to do. Again, a rare goal that went by Sierra Fowler. Like we mentioned, she had 11 shutouts last season. It was the 9th most in Division II, and like we said, goals come far and few between against her. And Roberts, a freshman out of London, United Kingdom, scores her first collegiate goal against one of the best goalkeepers in Division II. Gonna have offsides here, and a whistle coming from our referee at midfield. It's gonna be North Georgia's ball. Lopez gives it back to Watry. That's cleared by UNCP. Like we mentioned, North Georgia's top 3 goal scorers from last season, all seniors that have graduated. So 18 goals that the Nighthawks scored last season between those 3 players have got to come from somewhere. There's a couple players that could break out and take over that number 1 spot on the team in goals scored. Wheeler's one of them. Watry definitely stepped up her game on the offensive end last season. She's in contention for that as well. Great takeaway by Darby Olive.
Yeah, I think there was never any questions about the UNG defence, but with the forwards leaving last season, I think it's a big challenge now for the new players to sort of take over in that goal scoring.
Nighthawks trying to respond. Watry had a couple players in the vicinity trying to pass it off to, but nobody's home for North Georgia, and Bass is going to have another goal kick here. Like we mentioned, these are 2 of the top teams in the Southeast region. Always fun to see these 2 teams match up against one another. A great head coaching matchup between these 2. We mentioned Lars Anderson, almost 260 wins with the program, consistently keeping his team in the race for conference tournament championships and beyond. Lots of stability there at the head coaching position at UNCP. And head coach Kaylee Ralton for North Georgia, in her 5th season, a 41-18-8 career record, and she had a phenomenal season last year. Career best, first PBC regular season championship in program history, a 14-4-4 record, the 4th most wins in a season for North Georgia ever. PBC tournament runner-ups for the first time since 2016, made it to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2019, and of course the PBC Women's Soccer Coach of the Year last year. First female head coach to win that award since '06. You can see every single year since Coach Ralton has been with North Georgia, they've gotten better each and every season. The wins have gone up every year, and the team has made the NCAA tournament every season she's been with this program.
Yeah, you can see she stamps a clear identity on the team as well. Like, she gets in the way she wants them to be playing. You can see the way they play out from the back. They don't like giving the ball away cheaply, like looking after the ball, playing through the thirds. Just about making the most of these chances now.
Hall trying to weave her way through a few defenders, ends up at the feet of Wheeler. Wheeler has some space, less than 2 minutes remaining here in this first half. Tries to give it off to Olive. Over there again in that left corner, now to Aronoff. Aronoff tries to send it in, and that's going to be batted away by Bass. Ball was still alive for a moment there. Bass got her palm on the ball, and if a Nighthawk was maybe just a few feet closer, that could have been the first goal of the season there for North Georgia. And this one is going in the back of the net. Darby Olive ties this game up at 1-1. She was able to recollect the ball there, had some space to work, and that was a spectacular play there by Darby Olive to follow that one up. Kept her eye on the ball, and just like that, Will, it's a tied ball game, 1-1 here at Lynn Cottrell.
Yeah, you felt as though that goal was coming. They've been knocking at the door for a while now. They had a chance just seconds ago with Wheeler hitting the crossbar, and then it comes back out, recycles the ball really well, cross back in. Olive, won the ball first. It bounced down to her, and great finish to put it past the goalkeeper to tie the game up. And that, you can't help but say that they've deserved that UNG.
Absolutely.
At the very least, they should be drawing.
So just like that, game is tied up at 1-1. And a great response there from North Georgia with less than a minute remaining here in this first half. It's much easier going into the final 45, tied up at 1-1 instead of fighting back from a deficit. Both defenses got to hold on here. North Georgia trying to make another push with Watry. Now with 30 seconds left in the first half, the Braves may have one final shot here to try to regain the lead before they go back to the locker room. That was just a great play there by Darby Olive. Appeared in 21 games last year, the most in a season in her career. Definitely expect to see a lot more of her this season.
8, 7, 6, 5.
As the final 5 seconds wind down here in the first half, and we've got a great matchup here in the season opener between UNCP and UNG. It's a tied 1-1 ball game here at the UNG soccer field. A goal from Roberts made this a 1-0 lead for UNCP, and just before that buzzer went off, Darby Olive ties this game up at 1-1. 45 minutes down, 45 to go. We have a short halftime break coming up for you, and some halftime stats coming your way on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
All right, show me how you did that again. I'm here.
You've got a lot of reasons to be here.
I'm here.
That's why we're here. At Georgia Heart Institute, our breakthroughs in artificial intelligence could accurately model and predict future heart problems decades in advance, so you can make plans today to be just where you're needed tomorrow.
Oh, I'm here.
The future of heart care. We're leading Georgia there. Georgia Heart Institute.
The road to national championships runs through NCAA.com. And whether you follow one college team or all of them, it's never been easier to get the content you want with NCAA.com, the home of college sports.
At the heart of America's gold rush stands a beacon of leadership, tradition, and excellence. A university that has always led the way, forging an environment for broad-based academics, world-class athletics, and tomorrow's military leaders. The University of North Georgia. Learning and leadership, passion and preparation, transformation and tradition. We are the University of North Georgia.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to do like a quick commercial break that's like 40 seconds, and then...
Today's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Northeast Georgia Health System, the official healthcare partner of UNG Athletics. Bryan Properties, serving all your commercial real estate needs. Dahlonega Resort and Vineyard, escape to the North Georgia mountains for your next weekend getaway. Achasta, golf, community, and tranquility. Coca-Cola, the official sideline provider for North Georgia Athletics.
45 minutes down, 45 to go here in this season opener between North Georgia and UNC Pembroke. If you're just now joining us, Robert DiClemente alongside North Georgia men's soccer player Will Bentley. Let's take a look at some of the stats here from this first half. Scores tied up 1-1 after a goal from Roberts for UNC Pembroke, the first of her collegiate career. Looked like UNC Pembroke was going to go into halftime with the 1-0 lead, but the Nighthawks and Darby Olive were able to sneak a goal in with a few minutes remaining into that first half to tie the score up at 1-1. North Georgia got 5 shots off in that first half compared to just 2 for UNC Pembroke. One of those shots paying off with that shot on goal to make it a 1-0 lead for the time being. North Georgia, 4 of their 5 shots have been on goal. Bass has been busy in the net for UNCP. 3 saves compared to 0 in this one for Sierra Fowler. A couple corners in this one for North Georgia as well. UNCP has yet to have a corner in this game, and of course no yellow or reds thrown in this one. Will, what jumps out to you from the first half box score?
Well, for me, I think Anderson will definitely be the happier out of the 2 coaches, having seen 5 shots at his goal. I think the stats clearly show that North Georgia have been the more dominant side in the first half, but it also gives credit to that UNCP defence who've managed to shut them out quite well. I think it shows also the clinicalness of that Pembroke side. The forward line, they only needed 2 shots, but only 1 shot on goal in order to score. So it shows that UNG must be careful when they're facing shots from Pembroke.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. This UNC Pembroke team, like we mentioned last season, one of the most accurate in Division II. We're second in the nation in shots on goal, and that shows in their first half stats. Just 2 shots, but that one ended up in the back of the net for Roberts. And like we mentioned, North Georgia, their back line this season is going to be excellent, and their offense, they're going to have to make up some of the goals lost from the seniors that have since graduated from the 2023 season. Darby Olive notching the first goal here in 2024 for North Georgia. We'll see if the Nighthawks can get a few more players involved, maybe see Adelaide Wheeler and even Kat Watry try to get into the action here in the second half, as both teams try to break away here and come away with a win in the first game of the 2024 campaign. We will step aside for another short commercial halftime break. When we come back, the second half will be underway here on the Nighthawk Sports Network.
At the University of North Georgia, education is more than just a degree. That's why we understand student success is based on 4 interconnected pillars: academic achievement, sense of purpose, well-being, and belonging and engagement. Each pillar reinforces the others, forming the strong foundation that helps UNG students succeed during their time here. Academic achievement is what happens when students work hard and succeed in their studies. At UNG, no matter what degree you're pursuing, you'll receive support throughout your academic journey. We're here to assist with securing internships and study abroad opportunities, as well as other helpful resources like tutoring and advising to improve grades and prepare you for your future career. As a student, you develop a sense of purpose by exploring your unique strengths and personal values. This self-discovery happens when you join clubs, volunteer for community outreach, and participate in leadership activities. When you connect your strengths and values with your academic goals, you'll be able to make meaningful choices about your educational and career pathways. Well-being refers to the overall state of being healthy, happy, and prosperous. It's defined through 8 key dimensions: career, environmental, financial, intellectual, mental, physical, social, and spiritual well-being. When students maintain a healthy level of well-being across these areas, they can better manage stress and anxiety while enhancing their resilience and leadership abilities. Our Live Well UNG initiative promotes healthy behaviors and strategies for achieving overall well-being. We also understand the importance of belonging and engagement in fostering student success. This means feeling supported socially and connected to others on campus. From community building events to cohort programs and clubs, our goal is to make sure every student feels connected, valued, and empowered. At the heart of the University of North Georgia lies a commitment to academic excellence. It's about achieving dreams, finding purpose, enriching your well-being, and forging lifelong connections. Wherever you are in your educational journey, we are here to help you every step of the way.
Hey Nighthawks, I am fired up to welcome you to the new chow. You are not going to believe what we're about to show you. Check this out. Welcome to the new chow where you are going to eat like Nigel. What's going on in chow? First of all, better flow through this place. Remember the traffic jams you used to be in? 2, better healthy eating choices and better opportunities for to get the foods that you want. And then what's really cool, on the far side of chow are new study and collaboration spaces where you'll be able to hang out with your friends, study for tests, work on projects. And in the outer part of that area is a room with a projector system where you can do big group events. This place is off the hook and you are going to enjoy it.
"45 minutes down and 45 to go here in this 2024 season opener between North Georgia and UNC Pembroke. Score is tied at 1-1 between the Nighthawks and the Braves. As we mentioned during that halftime break, Roberts came away with the first goal of this game. And shortly after, Darby Olive was able to answer with a goal of her own to notch this one up at 1-1. Like we mentioned earlier in that first half, this matchup between these two teams is one of the best that you'll see. Two of the best programs in the Southeast region between North Georgia and UNC Pembroke. North Georgia, the Peach Belt Conference regular season champions last season, made it all the way to the PBC Tournament Championship game. UNCP winning the Conference Carolinas Tournament Championship for the 3rd consecutive season. These are two of the top-tier programs in Division II women's soccer here in the Southeast region. We are ready to get things rolling here in period number 2. It'll be Wheeler at midfield to get this clock started here for North Georgia. And we are underway in period number 2. Sides have now flipped, so Bass will be over there on the right side of your screen, Fowler over there on the left. As this ball quickly rolls out of play off of North Georgia, and it's going to be UNCP's ball. Like Will mentioned in that first half, North Georgia did a great job of trying to contain Bell. Didn't really get a whole lot of action going in that first half. One of the best goal scorers in Division II soccer. And it's North Georgia out the gates here in this second half, applying the pressure early.
Yeah, it looks to be similar to the first half in terms of UNG controlling most of the ball, trying to wear this UNCP defence down. It's these transition moments here where UNCP want to get at UNG whilst they've got numbers forward.
No Nighthawks in the vicinity as this one gingerly rolls out of play for UNCP's ball. Like we mentioned, a couple of faces missing from North Georgia this season. Same for UNC Pembroke. No Nicole Cook or Ashley Harris this season. 2 all-region players for the Braves last year. Ball still alive for UNCP, and that one's going to deflect off of Aronoff. Braves keep this one in the air and rolls right to the feet of Sierra Fowler.
Yeah, good work from Aronoff, Fruits and Bell in a foot race there. Bell did well, Fruits did well to hold her up. Aronoff came to support and managed to win the ball back.
And we mentioned North Georgia doing a good job as we're going to have a whistle and a foul going against UNCP. On number 3, Lodge Whitham. It looks like this is going against North Georgia, excuse me. like we mentioned, the Nighthawks have done a good job of containing Mercy Bell. Another player they've done a great job of containing is Anna Grossheim, another standout player for the Braves, set the single-season school record in assists last season with 12. Became UNCP's career assist leader last season. Was the 2022 Conference Carolinas Player of the Year. Multiple-time All-American Freshman of the Year over there in the Conference Carolinas. Braves have a few really standout players on this roster, and so far this Nighthawks back line has done a good job containing them for the most part.
Definitely, yeah. I think Fruits and Watchery and Aronoff have all used their experience, their college experience. They've played lots of games at this level, and they're showing that. And I think Treadwell has done really well stepping into this side on her debut.
Yeah, it's been a couple of unexpected heroes for both of these two squads. Like we mentioned, Roberts scoring her first collegiate goal. Nighthawks have an opportunity here as Bass is able to track this one down. Had Odinger in the area. Bass was able to beat her to it.
Again, UNCP going long. The clear way they want to play it, which is putting the ball in behind that UNG defence, trying to wait for mistakes, getting behind, use that pace of Roberts and Bell.
Watchery with the ball, trying to work around a few Braves here. As they clear this one, gets back to Watchery for the moment, and here is Roberts with a breakaway, but she's got a defender on her back in Treadwell. Nice recovery there. And we mentioned that the goal scoring for North Georgia may have to come from some new faces this year, but that may not be an issue for North Georgia, as one of the biggest positives for them last season offensively was the distribution of their goals scored. There were so many different players that scored a goal for North Georgia last season. 17 of the 22 players last year that saw the field for UNG scored a goal last year. The highest amount of goals one player scored was 6. There was never one specific player that opponents could kind of hone in on last season. It was anybody who was on the field could make you pay, and really that's a tough thing for opposing teams. Trying to contain one player doesn't matter because there are multiple Nighthawks on this team who are going to make you pay. Nighthawks push this one back to Wheeler. Got a little bit of space here. Gives it off to Cottle. Had a couple defenders on her, though, and 18-on-18 matchup. Watchery and Roberts. A couple of bodies hit the turf there as Alex Clark a little bit slow to get up on that play. Clark, a PBC All-Conference second-team member last year, also had 4 goals last year. She could be in contention to lead this team in goals as well here in the 2024 season. Started 21 of the 22 games last year. Veteran on the squad, junior.
There's that ball again from the UNCP defence, trying to catch out the UNG defence, but Watchery again dealing with it really well.
And here is Roberts on a breakaway. Fowler coming pretty far out from the box and does a great job there, beating Roberts to the ball and sending this one back to midfield for UNCP.
Yeah, that's good from Fowler in these sort of games where she hasn't had too much to do. It's always important to stay alert. And there she was to step up and intercept the pass.
Nighthawks trying to be aggressive here. Ball gets back to Wheeler, tries to send it in, headed out of there by the Braves. Nighthawks with another opportunity here, trying to take the lead. This one gets back to Watry, and again, Roberts takes it away, and Fowler again coming far out from the box, and she is nowhere to be found in goal, and an opportunity for UNCP.
Fruits has done so well there to recover.
That was a fantastic play there by Fruits.
Yeah, she's seen her goalkeeper Fowler in a bit of trouble there, and she's burst along there to get back. She did just about enough to put off Bell from finishing the chance. You know, just that little nudge, not a foul, just something to put them off.
Yeah, Fruits matched up with, like we mentioned, Bell, one of the best goal scorers in all of Division II women's soccer. Had a red carpet to the goal there as Fowler had come out a bit too far, and it was a great play there by Michael Fruits to keep this game at 1-1.
We're seeing that again, even in the first 10 minutes of this second half. We're seeing how many times that midfielder trying to play through the UNCP attack, getting in behind and trying to make the most of it, and they did there. They just couldn't find the finish.
Wheeler with the ball, trying to work past Cancillo. That ball a bit too strong for Cottle as it rolls out of play for UNCP's ball. Nighthawks went undefeated in PBC play last season. Start the season in second in the conference standings, right behind Columbus State. Took down North Georgia in the tournament championship. Both teams ended their seasons in the second round of the NCAA tournament, however, which sets up a highly anticipated matchup between the Nighthawks and the Cougars on October 26th, when those two teams will face off in Columbus.
Looked like a pretty obvious offside there, to be honest. Linesman didn't see it, though.
Yeah, you could hear the crowd kind of agreeing with you on that call there, Will. They were looking for the offsides call.
Brilliant step from Watchery.
Yeah, Watchery, very rarely will you see her gingerly walking on the field. She is going at about 120%, 100% of the time. Makes another great play there.
Definitely, I think that's one of her strongest attributes, how strong she is in the tackle. Never scared. There she is again.
As that ball soars out of play for a UNCP throw-in. That ball's headed out of there by Aronoff. And Darby Olive is on the run. Ball gets back to midfield. Ends up back in North Georgia's possession. Watry trying to find Clark, who has some room here on the right side. Gets it back to Watry.
Yeah, just a heavy touch there.
Clark tried to track that one down against Cancillo. Lopez leaves it for Aronoff.
Good football again from UNG.
Nighthawks trying to make something happen here on the left side. Get it into the box. Stayed low. Braves tried to clear it. Nighthawks still have a chance here. Try to send it in again. But again, the Braves doing a good job of containing the Nighthawks in the box.
The danger of this UNCP side is, although it looks like they're under the cosh with UNG keeping possession in their half, that's actually what they want. They want the ball up there. They want the UNG players to commit themselves forward, so that when they do win it back, they can launch it over the top. get their strikers on the ball, Bell and Roberts, and match them up 1v1 against the defence, and really have a go at them. So UNG need to be careful. Seeing already how they can get in behind with a blink of an eye.
Nighthawks with possession here, making another push towards the goal. Pushed back a little bit by UNCP. Shot by Olive is going right into the hands of Bass there, but that was a good look there for Darby Olive.
Yeah, she's starting to take the game into her own hands now. Obviously, she got the goal in the first half, and she seems to have grown in confidence ever since.
Yeah, she's a veteran on this North Georgia squad who's been, I think, known for a lot of her hustle plays that she makes. Like Watry, she is just all over the place, making great plays for North Georgia, stepping in the way of passes and cutting off passes from the opponent. And Olive, she scored 1 goal last season, and she's already matched that here in 2024. Like you said, Will, definitely a great confidence boost for Darby Olive, as we could see her potentially break through this season as a strong offensive player for North Georgia.
Yeah, Wheeler just caught out on the ball there and forced to give away the foul in order to stop the attack. It's a yellow card.
This is the 3rd season in a row that North Georgia and UNCP have faced off against one another. Braves won the first of 3 matchups in 2022 right here in Dahlonega. Nighthawks got their revenge last season, taking down the Braves in a 1-0 win. It looks like Wheeler may have been shaken up a little bit on the play, as the trainer for UNG is going to come out to tend to her as she will make her way off the field. And Wheeler is definitely a player that North Georgia cannot really afford to lose here.
Oh,
in this
definitely.
game.
You can see in the first half, every time she seemed to get the ball, she had an idea where she wanted to put it, spraying passes out wide. Really strong performance, and yeah, definitely would be a huge miss with her coming off.
So as Wheeler makes her way off, North Georgia is going to make a substitution with Chloe Diaz coming into the game for Wheeler.
It'll be interesting where she plays, because first half she found herself in the forward position, but looks like she's taking over from Wheeler in midfield right now.
And Diaz saw a lot of action last year, 10 games in 2023, over 200 minutes. Nighthawks are on the attack here as that's taken away from Odinger.
Good step from Treadwell there.
And the yellow card was assessed to Adlai Wheeler on the play.
Yeah, I don't think she'll have any complaints with that. It was just one of those that happen in soccer sometimes, where you find yourself on the wrong side of a player and you just have to bring them down to stop them from scoring.
As this one bounces out behind the goal, and Bass will collect it here. There's going to be a couple new faces in goal for the Braves this season, as North Georgia actually will have the corner kick here. Longtime goalkeeper for the Braves, Kira Copen, graduated after last year. Nighthawks send the corner in, keep it on the ground. Clark gives it back, and this one is in the air and headed out of there by UNCP and Soderberg.
You can see UNG have worked on that over the pre-season. Little short corner with a set. Unfortunately, Aronoff's cross was a little bit heavy to find anyone. But that's when you start. First game of the season is when you start to see all the corner routines that teams have practiced in pre-season sort of come into play, and see if they actually work. That one, not quite.
And the Nighthawks have had their opportunities with corners in this game, definitely more than UNCP so far, and that's something that they definitely had a lot of last season too. They were one of the highest ranked teams in the PBC in corners per game, so a lot of opportunities for them to try to make something happen near the goal. Speaking of which, they're trying to make something happen here, and the shot is off the fingertips of Bass. Cottle had a great look. That one may have gotten a piece of the crossbar too, and a great opportunity there.
That's really good from UNG. I think. Sorry, I forgot. I think Cottle gave a shout to Oettinger. She left the ball, let it run. Great touch from Cottle to set herself. Weak-footed shot. Lots of power behind it, and a great save from the goalkeeper onto the crossbar.
This corner gets in the air, and Olive ends up with it. Oh, and the cross there from Darby Olive went just past the eyes of Bass and out of play. Would have been another great play there from Darby Olive.
Yeah, like I say, I don't think that was an accident. Olive being left alone at the back there, I think that would have been rehearsed. Her waiting at the back, good find from Aronoff at the back post, and unlucky from Olive not to find the target.
Nighthawks are going to make another substitution here. Number 17, Charlie Morgan, stepping on for North Georgia, freshman out of Alta Vista, Virginia. One of 4 Nighthawks from outside the state of Georgia. Played for the Skyline Elite Soccer Club in the Virginia Soccer Alliance. That's where she was introduced to the North Georgia coaching staff, as this one gets in the back of the net. North Georgia takes a 2-1 lead. What a shot there by Lopez.
Oh, that's brilliant from Lopez. Absolutely phenomenal. She picks up the ball 30 yards out, drives forward with it, gets her head up, sees the goal. That's an unbelievable strike from distance. Goalkeeper, not much they could do about it.
And how about that from Nina Lopez? Her first game as a Nighthawk, the freshman out of Melbourne, Florida, gives North Georgia the 2-1 lead, and with about 20 minutes gone here in this second half, and with as good as North Georgia's back line has been playing in this one, it's definitely great to see here from North Georgia, building a little bit of a cushion up here with this 2-1 lead against UNCP, and Nina Lopez shines here for the Nighthawks to give them the 2-1 lead.
Great initiative from Lopez. After Wheeler comes off, Lopez sort of takes that hold in the midfield, steps forward with it, and brilliant finish. And I think that's what they deserve, UNG. They've been the better side by far, I think, today. And now the scoreline reflects it.
Nighthawks with another opportunity here. Olive leaves it for Watry, has a couple feet of space in between her and the defender as they cut this one off.
I think it's important there. We see UNG have left 3 players back for that long ball, so they have the overload on the 2 UNCP strikers. It means they can deal with it a little bit better, because beforehand they were getting overrun a little bit. Now with that 3v2, it's a lot easier to win the ball back like they just did, and then start the attack again.
So we got a whistle and a foul here. It's going to go against UNCP. North Georgia trying to work quickly here. Here is Watry, who is tripped up. North Georgia keeps possession. Clark gives it back to Watry. As Clark just lost the possession there, and ball a bit too strong for Roberts as it gets back to Aronoff and now to Fowler.
Yeah, again, it's that 3 left behind at the back. It went over Fruits' head, but luckily Aronoff was there to clean up.
That through ball into Odinger, a little too strong. This is going to result in another corner here for North Georgia, and Kat Watry makes her way over to that right side. Not surprised to see Nina Lopez shining here with North Georgia. Just a freshman, but she's been named the Girls Soccer Player of the Year multiple times by multiple different outlets in Florida Florida Today, Breakfast of Champions, Brevard Sports Network. Watry sends the corner in, keeps it a little lower. Braves trying to cut off Clark. As this ball rolls out of play for a UNCP throw-in. Now 24 minutes remaining in this one. North Georgia with a 2-1 lead. It looks like both sides are going to make a substitution here. And for North Georgia, number 11, Megan O'Brien steps onto the field. And Emma Clark for UNCP. O'Brien saw the field 20 times in 2023, started 6 of those games, also had 4 goals as well. Nice job by Watry, as this one is going to roll out of play, and Sierra Fowler will have the goal kick here, and that could have been dangerous for North Georgia if UNCP and Bell were able to get past that.
Yeah, I think Bell struggled with a lack of numbers in the box there. You saw her get a head up, and she couldn't really see anyone in the box to cross it to. I think that's the problem with this defensive UNCP side. Don't quite get the numbers up in attack.
Here is Charlie Morgan. Leaves it for O'Brien, who, as we mentioned, just checked into the game. And this is going to be North Georgia's ball. Clark tries to get it to O'Brien. Ball is still alive and cleared by UNCP's back line. Great recovery there as Bass had hit the turf for a minute.
Good from Clark again. I think that's the sort of work that goes unnoticed. That sort of working back.
Clark with the shot, keeps it on the ground, trails left. But another good look there from North Georgia. Kind of similar to what we saw from Nina Lopez, except Clark kept this one closer to the ground.
Yeah, it's a credit to this midfield's hard work, like you've seen so far. The number of times where maybe the ball's been turned over, but how quickly Lopez, Wheeler when she was on, Diaz now, and Clark, how quickly they win it back after losing it. And again, they create chances from it.
Ball almost rolls out of play and finally does for Bass. North Georgia men's soccer team hitting the road today to kick off their 2024 season against Francis Marion in the 16th annual CSU Laker Lock-In Classic over there in Morrow, Georgia. That game is supposed to kick off at 5 p.m. today. As we're going to have a whistle and a foul. Will, as a member of the North Georgia men's soccer team, you guys are coming off a phenomenal 2023 season with Coach Lilich and the Nighthawks went undefeated in the regular season here at home at the UNG soccer field, and one of the best seasons for the North Georgia men's soccer program in quite some time. So what are you looking forward to in this matchup against Francis Marion coming up this afternoon?
Well, firstly, I'm really disappointed to be injured. That's the reason why I'm not playing later, but I'm really excited to see the new players that have come in. I think we've got a really strong squad this year. I'm really excited what we can achieve. I actually think we can do better than last season, build on last season, and I think we've got a conference to win.
Yeah, both the men's and the women's teams went undefeated here at home at the UNG soccer field last season during the regular season. There's just something different about playing here at Lincoln Trail Park, as we're going to have a stoppage of time.
Exactly, yeah. The phrase "we don't lose at home" has started to spread around the men and women's soccer team, because that's what happens these days. We don't lose at home, and so far it's looking like North Georgia staying true to that.
Yeah, 2 great seasons from the North Georgia men's and women's soccer programs last season. North Georgia men's soccer team won 9 games last year, the most in 6 years. So lots to be excited about if you're fans of the men's and women's soccer programs here in the Gold City. Ball rolls out of play in front of UNCP's bench. It'll be the Braves' ball. Again, rolls out of play. This time it is going to be North Georgia's ball, looks like, over there in the shade. And it looks like Clark is going to step off here for North Georgia. Nighthawks making another substitution. And it's number 19, Emma Moreau, making her debut for North Georgia, freshman out of Keller, Texas, two-time Texas Association of Soccer Coaches All-District First Team selection. So we've got a handful of Nighthawks making their collegiate debut here in this season opener, and so Coach Ralton going with a couple of freshmen here in this season opener, but that's, you know, great experience for them to be able to see the field here and, you know, get a little taste of collegiate soccer and, you know, see what's to come for these next 4 years here at the University of North Georgia.
I think the important thing is they don't look overcome by the occasion at all. They all look excited to be playing. No one looks nervous on the ball. All the freshmen have had good showings today.
Yeah, we mentioned those potential season opener jitters for both of these teams, you know, trying to find their footing again after, you know, not having played official games in a while here, and, you know, the Nighthawks are picking up right where they left off last season. Here is O'Brien. That one's deflected off of a Brave. Braves keep this one in the field of play, and that's going off the foot of Moreau.
Game's hitting a bit of a lull now, and I think it's important for North Georgia to stay composed. Don't let any complacency creep in.
Just a little tangle up there between Watry and Roberts. We've seen that 18-on-18 matchup a lot here in this game. Two feisty players who are not going to give up on the play. Here's Charlie Morgan with some room to operate, leaves it for O'Brien. Nighthawks pushed over there into the right corner. Back to O'Brien, and it's taken away by UNCP as they tried to keep it in play, but looks like they stepped out of bounds there as Cancillo may have had a couple toes there on the line. Here is Watry, finds a space with O'Brien. O'Brien's another player to look out for this season. Led the team in assists last year with 6. She's also tied for third on the team in goals with 4, so she's kind of one of those do-it-all players. Nighthawks still putting the pressure on. Here is Moreau. Had a couple defenders on her, and the Braves take it away.
Brilliant from Treadwell there, getting a body in and a shot off.
Yeah, another good look there for North Georgia. Like Will said, Treadwell decides to take the shot, and Bass is definitely being tested more in this second half than she was in the first from this North Georgia attack.
You can see how much Lopez has gained from that goal. Seems to be getting on the ball a lot more now. Moving it with confidence.
And sometimes that's all you need, you know, just to get, you know, one play to fall. And like we said, this is her debut for North Georgia as Fowler collects that one. And some of these freshmen out here are playing like they're third, fourth year vets.
Definitely, and I think that's always a huge bonus for the coaching staff when they can trust younger players to put them on and guarantee that they'll get a good performance out of them. Bit of a foot race here with Treadwell, which does well.
So now with under 15 minutes remaining, North Georgia still holds a 2-1 lead over UNCP. But the Braves are going to keep North Georgia's head on a swivel. Like we said, one of the most accurate teams with their shots on goal last season. Top 2 in the nation in that category. So this is going to be a tough final 14 and a half minutes of play here for North Georgia if they want to start this 2024 season with a W. Here is Charlie Morgan. Gives it off to O'Brien. O'Brien was tripped up, and this is going to stay North Georgia's ball. As Watry will have the free kick. Watry tries to send it into the box. It's headed out of there by Amidou. Michael Fruits trying to push this one past midfield. You can see O'Brien's got a lot of attention on her. Like we mentioned, one of those dual threat players, as this one just rolls out of play. As Watry tried to track that one down. Or Olive, excuse me, trying to track that one down. Just couldn't get a foot on it.
Yeah, you just feel the intensity of the game's just dropped a little bit. I think that suits UNCP a little bit more, as they can try and get UNG on the counter-attack. Now for UNG, it's about looking after the ball, continue to create chances, don't get impatient.
So Bass will have the goal kick here. Like we said, some new faces in goal for UNCP this season. Bass being one of them. Starting in place of Kira Copen, longtime goalkeeper for the Braves, graduated last year, started 71 games over 4 seasons with the Braves. So Bass has got some big shoes to fill in goal there for UNCP. Braves trying to answer here with Cancillo.
She hasn't got much support around her. Pretty much all on her own.
Yeah, right on cue there, Will. She was double teamed there by Watry and Moreau. Here is Grossheim. Tries to send it in, but right to the feet of Sierra Fowler. Grossheim is not a name that we have mentioned a ton here during this game, but she is about as good as it comes for Division II women's soccer players. Former player of the year in the Conference Carolinas, and Nighthawks done a good job of keeping her quiet in this game. Same thing with Bell. Haven't heard much of her in this game.
This UNCP side very much relies on individual brilliance. You can see a lot of the time they get the ball, they knock it into a certain player, and then it's like, go. But a lot of the time there's not enough support around that player, and they're sort of trusted to go and make something themselves. But a lot of the time, you know, this UNG defence is too strong to let that happen, and it's just not working for them at the moment. Whereas you watch UNG right now, they're building up from the back. I mean, they're giving it away there, commentator's curse. But in general, they've been looking after the ball really well, working as a team. When they have the ball, there's always players around, and there's always options to pass to.
Yeah, and that's got, you know, its pros and its cons to it when you have a player, you know, with the talent like Bell or Grossheim, where you can give them the ball, like you said, Will, and just say, go for it. And a lot of the times they're going to make plays, but, compared to North Georgia, the highest goal scorer on the team last year had 6 goals. And like we said, 17 different Nighthawks scored a goal last season. And so, kind of keeping opponents on their toes and not necessarily knowing who's going to make you pay, in any certain game is definitely a dangerous aspect if you're playing against North Georgia.
Exactly. I think that's reflected in the goal scoring charts, the way the two teams play, with UNCP having a top score of 19 last season, UNG having 6. It shows that one side, they rely on certain players, whereas UNG maybe, with the goal spread out, rely on all sorts of players, lots of teamwork. And neither way is wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
But that clashing style is clearly being shown here, and here we go.
UNCP with an opportunity and a great play there by Lopez to cut off the Braves. Nighthawks have made a few more substitutions as Blanca Cruz steps on for North Georgia, freshman out of Snellville, Georgia. She was a scoring machine in high school, scored over 100 goals, adding 30 assists in her 4 years at Shiloh High School. Was a dual sport athlete, played volleyball in high school as well.
Garcia's come on as well.
Stepping on for the Nighthawks, number 15, Kimora Hall, number 21, Angie Garcia, and number 24.
Number 21, Angie Garcia, sophomore midfielder out of Lawrenceville, Georgia. Played in 13 games last season, the most out of any freshman on the team. She scored her first career goal in her second game. Got to work early. It looks like the Braves are going to have a good opportunity here with this free kick, and Grossheim sends it in, and Fowler easily collects it and falls on top of that one.
Yeah, it's a goalkeeper's dream there, really. Straight into her hands. Pretty simple stuff for a goalkeeper like Fowler.
And Fowler is coming into this matchup only 5 saves away from moving into second all-time for saves in a career for UNG women's soccer. Had 138 coming into 2024.
Yeah, no doubt she'll beat that this season. Hopefully not this game though. Hopefully not that much work to do in the last 7 minutes. And now it's a test for UNCP. They've got to press this UNG defence as they try and play out from the back. But so far it's been way too easy for UNG. Look at that, Diaz with a great turn in the middle. And they don't look too concerned when they're trying to keep the ball here, UNG.
Yeah, North Georgia can afford to play a little bit of keep away if they want to from UNCP, who has the pressure on. Have about 6.5 minutes left to try to find the equalizer. They have a good opportunity to do that here, and Fowler, another great save, proving why she is consistently one of the best goalkeepers in Division II women's soccer. Makes a great play there, gets on the turf, and keeps us a 2-1 game.
Yeah, it's really well read from Fowler. She saw the heavy touch from Bell, and it wasn't a really heavy touch. It was ever so slightly just too big for her to get there, and Fowler read it straight away down the floor, picked it up, and chance.
And we've seen Fowler kind of come a little bit farther out from the goal, a little more than we saw from her last season. We saw in that first half, she came a little bit farther out from the goal, and Bell had a red carpet to the goal, but Fruits had made that great play to keep it I believe it was a 1-0 ball game, or a tied ball game at the time being.
Yeah, I think that's an indicator of the way UNCP play. They like to sit back, defend, and then counter. And when they do that, that's when they turn the ball over the top, get the strikers in behind, and that's why there's all that space in behind the UNG defence. And that's where Sierra Fowler needs to step in as the goalkeeper.
Kimora Hall with the shot there, soars over the goal, over the crossbar, and Now with just over 5 minutes to play here, UNCP looking to make a push to try to tie this ball game up. Watry takes over. Nighthawks with some room here. Watry may have a chance. Lots of action still going on as Watry and Bass got a little tied up there. And a little bit of some extracurriculars going on there. With Bass is still on the turf. And those were just, two players diving to the ground trying to make a play there for their team, and inevitably plays like that are just going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. I think Watry does really well to take the ball in a stride originally, and the defender does really well to come across, cut her out. And obviously, again, the goalkeeper's down at her feet collecting the ball, and yeah, there's a bit of a tangle up. It happens in soccer.
And Watry is issued a yellow card on that play. Sounds like the crowd wanted another yellow for the potential fruity language. Chloe Diaz passes it off, and ball's going to roll out of play for a North Georgia throw-in. Actually going to be a UNCP throw-in.
I think Aronoff's done a lot less work this second half, in a positive way. Like they haven't really attacked her side like they did in the first half. She's been a lot less busy, which is a sign of how well UNG have defended.
We have a whistle going against North Georgia, so a free kick here for UNCP. And with North Georgia holding this 2-1 lead, not sure if we're going to see any more substitutions here for Coach Ralton and the Nighthawks, as with the new rules set in stone this season. Team leading, I believe it's under 15 minutes to go in the second half. They decide to make a substitution. Clock will stop, and Sierra Fowler and the Nighthawks are going to try to bleed as much clock as they possibly can here in this one.
Yeah, you see the change in style with this 3 minutes left. No more trying to pass it out from the back. A bit more sensible, going long, because any mistake, at the back can lead to a goal. And I think at this point in the game, 3 minutes left, you don't want to be taking that sort of risk. So good game management from Fowler and this UNG side.
Nighthawks throw it in. Another potential opportunity, again collected by Bass, who has definitely had her work cut out for her in this one. North Georgia's gotten off 13 shots in this game. Come away with a pair of goals as well.
Again, look at that. Just completely surrounded by UNG players. No support for Roberts there. I wouldn't be surprised if that pair up front are frustrated after this game, feeling like they didn't have much help from the rest of their team.
And like you mentioned, Will, the defense from North Georgia, this back line's always going to be a standout, as another potential opportunity here for North Georgia, but again, collected by Bass. This back line for North Georgia is game in and day out, going to be one of the most consistent in the Peach Belt Conference. Lots of veterans still on this back line here in this defense for North Georgia.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Treadwell's, as a freshman, and she's slotted in really well. She had a really good game today, and I think that's where they need to build their foundations, UNG. They've got a strong defence, so they don't need to worry defensively. It's about getting the goals, and today they've done that through Lopez and Olive. And if they can consistently score goals and don't have to worry about defending, I think they're in for a very strong season.
Absolutely, especially with the loss of Bailey Vessel after she graduated last year. Treadwell is going to fit in quite nicely to this back line here for North Georgia. Half their games last season, they shut out their opponents thanks to this stellar back line and, of course, their anchor and goal in Sierra Fowler. And it looks like we could be in for another season of some strong defense, as The Nighthawks cleared this one out of play. Less than a minute to go. UNCP is going to try to make one final push here.
Yeah, it's the first time the whole game you've seen UNCP flood players forward.
The pressure's on now. Like you said, they kind of let up a little bit here in this second half with 30 seconds left, though. UNCP trying to find the equalizer. And a good job of clearing this one by North Georgia's back line. Braves still trying to keep it alive, and smart play there by this North Georgia back line just to send it back over to Bass. Now with 10 seconds left, the Braves will have one more shot to try to tie this game up. With the ball bouncing around at midfield, this is going to end in a W for North Georgia as they start out their 2024 campaign 1-0. That is going to do it. The Nighthawks, for the second consecutive season, start the season off on a high note by taking down UNCP, this time on their home turf in Dahlonega, beating the Braves for the first time at home in the Coach Ralton era. We saw a couple of great plays from some new faces into the starting lineup for North Georgia. Like we mentioned earlier, Darby Olive scoring a goal for the Nighthawks, getting her first of the season. Nina Lopez in her Nighthawk debut, scoring goal number 2 for North Georgia to come away with a 2-1 win. Will, any final thoughts on this one?
I think Coach Ralton will be really pleased with today's performance. I think they showed a lot of heart, being 1-0 down, coming from behind. They stuck to the game plan. They played in the way that she wants them to play, and yeah, she's shown the team has shown that there's a strong defense there and a strong attack to go with it.
So a great way to start off this 2024 season for the Nighthawks. A 1-0 start to the year. The Nighthawks will hit the road for a matchup against Limestone this Sunday at 4 p.m. in Gaffney, South Carolina, before returning home to take on former PBC rival Young Harris on September 11th at 4:30 p.m. But we'll be back with you this Saturday at 5 p.m. as North Georgia men's soccer team takes on Converse right here at Lynn Cottrell Park. On behalf of the rest of our incredible Nighthawk Sports Network crew and Will Bentley, this is Robert DiClemente signing off. Thanks so much for watching. Again, your final score, North Georgia 2, UNCP 1. Have a great rest of